Never call a Polish person Eastern European. If you're a foreigner, if you're American, and you just landed here in Poland, these are some of the rules and unwritten rules that everyone should follow. And so with that said, let's get into this. Never call a Polish person Eastern European. Some Polish people may find that, yeah, that's whatever, that's fine. But many? They don't like that. They prefer to be called Central European. And to be fair, I understand why. Poland is literally in the center, but also they're kind of a mixture of Western culture and Eastern European culture, if that makes sense. But what I do recommend is never call a Polish person Eastern European. You will get corrected by Polish people.
You have been warned.
If you see these white lines in the road, they are for you to cross. You don't have to wait for a vehicle. As long as you don't see a pedestrian light that is green or red, you have the right of way. And also as a pedestrian, make sure you look both ways because you don't want to look like, no! That's not good. That's a bad day. So if you're here in Poland and you see these white lines, as a pedestrian, you have the right of way. And if you're driving, make sure you don't hit the pedestrians. I think that's a good rule to follow, right? Do you think that's a fantastic rule?
Well, there's a Top Gear top tip right there.
And speaking of the pedestrian crosswalk with the lights, most Polish people follow this rule. It's actually a law. In fact, I've heard stories of officials dressing in civilian clothing when somebody jaywalked, or in other words, crossing when the light was red. They received a ticket. And these tickets can be pretty expensive. I highly recommend when you see a red light, don't cross. But when it's green,
crap is clean.
That's when you're able to cross the road.
Rules. Without them, we live with the animals.
So if you go on a tram or bus, I highly recommend you purchase a ticket. There are places you can actually purchase the ticket right on the tram itself, and you get a ticket and you put it in this little slot.
Giggity.
And also, if you see the sign, yes, you can sit here, but if you see an elderly person or someone who is on crutches or injured or someone who is pregnant, you should give up your seat for them because technically that's what those seats are meant for. And you can purchase a ticket at one of these ticket machines. Some of them are right next to tram stops or bus stops. Poland does make it convenient for people to purchase a ticket because if you don't, there are these people. Uwaga kanari. They will find you.
I will find you.
They don't care about your excuses. I know, I've gone through it. So don't be like me. Follow the rules. Make sure you have the ticket. Because if you don't have a ticket, you will get a fine and they will hold you there indefinitely until you pay the fine. And those fines can be very expensive. And here's a pro tip. Just download the application where you can purchase a tram. Just Google it.
It's simple.
Another thing when you're on the tram is being quiet. Playing loud music or talking loud. It's frowned upon here in Poland. So if you want the Polish stare, that's probably one of the best ways to do it. So if you're in a public transportation or just in a public area in general, try not to be loud where people are finding it annoying.
FYI, shut the hell up.
But speaking about public etiquettes, I've learned when you enter a room, like at a doctor's office or even the elevator, you say Dzień dobry, which means hello to everyone. Or if you're leaving the doctor's office or elevator, you say do widzenia. But what you don't want to do is when you enter the elevator and you say Dzień dobry, you don't want to look at the person and say jak się pan ma, which means how are you doing today? So you say that to a man, but if you want to say how are you doing to a woman, you say jak się pani ma, because they're just going to look at you with that famous Polish stare. And this leads me to my next point. Small talk. I'm sure many of you have heard about this, but this goes without saying. Small talk isn't really a thing here.
Then do you know what the klutz did?
No, and I don't care.
Here's a Polish small talk. That is basically it. That's the best small talk you're gonna get. You're not going to have people in Poland just open up and, hey, my day was great, and how was your day? They don't do stuff like that. Some will, but yes, small talk isn't really a thing here. And for many Polish people, they'd rather have a really deep, meaningful conversation instead of, how was your weekend?
One thing that no one told you about Slavic culture is why we don't do small talk. The main reasons is the language. For example, in Polish, we don't ask strangers, how are you? Jak się masz? Co słychać? Jak tam? Co tam? It is a personal question, and we really ask it when we really want to know how someone is. Ask a Polish person in English or in Polish and be ready for a very real answer, sometimes negative.
I hate small talk.
And another unwritten rule, maybe this is a rule, I don't know, I've read there's laws about
A few moments later.
After 10 p.m., if you live in a flat, that's typically quiet time. So in other words, if you're blasting your music, or if, I don't know, for whatever reason, you want to have an argument at that time, I say that because this has happened to me.
Still, could be worse.
Now, the quiet time rule is strictly for the weekdays. On the weekends, have fun. Go willy-nilly. Don't go crazy, right? We're not asking for Coachella. The rule of thumb is shut the hell up after 10 p.m. It's kind of this social norm where people understand that after 10 p.m., you have to be quiet. And another neat little feature here in Poland is entering and getting off the tram, bus, elevator. It is customary that you allow the people to get out first, and then you proceed to get out. Real simple.
So easy, a caveman can do it.
So this rule really doesn't apply to me, and I believe this is actually a law. No public drinking in public. What I mean by that is you can't drink a open alcoholic beverage in public. That is frowned upon. If you want to drink, there are many places where you can sit in front of their patio and drink outside with all your mates, with all your friends. Because if you want to go to a park with an open alcoholic beverage, you could get a ticket, and it's frowned upon. It's just not culturally accepted. So just don't do it.
Don't be that guy.
If you're privileged to ever be invited to a Polish person's home for a get-together, for a dinner, for a party, don't show up empty-handed. I've personally done it, and I felt really bad because I didn't know the customs. I'm a horrible person.
He ain't lying.
Here in Poland, it's customary to bring something. Wine, beer, chips, those famous pretzels that I love, or hell, even Kinders. Anything. Just don't show up empty-handed. It just shows that you're thankful to be invited.
Don't you never come in here empty-handed again.
Another very important rule if you come to Poland is take off your shoes when you enter someone's home. Here's the reason why. You see those guys? They're pigeons. And you know what pigeons leave? Pigeon poo. And do you know what gets stuck on your shoes?
Take a wild guess.
Pigeon poo. So why would I want someone to track that in my home? You just take off a shoe, take off another shoe, and that's it. Now, this is something that's very similar to Korean culture and other Asian cultures is you take off your shoes before you enter someone's home. Just like in Poland, we don't want dirty floors. So when you enter a Polish home, make sure you take off your shoes. And here's a fun fact, they may even give you comfortable slippers.
In most Polish houses, when you go in, you take off your shoes.
You also get slippers.
When you come to Polish home, you'll always get kapcie, so that you don't get cold feet.
The host might actually be saying, don't worry, keep the shoes on.
It's a trap!
So these are some of the rules and unwritten rules I've learned living here in Poland for 5 years. Let me know in the comments, what are some of the rules that you've learned?
Did you learn something?
In Poland, are there things that I'm missing or something I didn't mention? Please let me know in the comments. Not everyone's gonna follow these rules. I understand that these are kind of subjective, but this is something what many people, Polish people, have told me to follow. Poland isn't just a place on a map for me. It became a feeling.
It's home.
If these rules helped you understand that feeling a little bit better, it would mean the world if you hit that like button and sharing this with anyone else that's thinking about moving here to Poland. So if you really enjoy this, please hit that hype button. It's the best way for this video to climb the charts and help new people find our community. So please subscribe and hit that notification bell to join the journey. But before you pack your bags, there is one thing that could change everything. Do not move to Poland until you watch this video right here. And so if you stuck to the end, you are true legends. And so with that said, and without further ado, let's get into this.